In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to manifest anything that you want in your life. Because once you get an understanding of this, it can't not help but to happen. So first things first, we're going to have to understand how powerful our mind is. All right? And you are not your mind. You are not your name. You are not your body. You are not your job. You are not the car you drive. You are not any of those things. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Do not attach yourself to anything in this life. All right? Detachment is key. So, to understand how you can manifest anything that you want in life, whether it's money, if you want a better job, if you want to live somewhere else, if you want a mate, whatever you want, you can have it because it is your right. It is your birthright. So, let this image represent us as human beings. We have a mind. At the top is the conscious mind. At the bottom is your subconscious mind. Now, the top is your thinking mind. And the subconscious is your emotional mind. From here, we have a body. You are not your body. This is a vehicle. We're driving, we're flying, whatever you want to do with this. And from this body, we take action. And what does this give us? Our results. Now, a way to look at our results is in our happiness, our health, and our wealth. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you wealthy? And if you are lacking in these categories, understanding this will help you improve in any of these. So, these are our five senses. We see, we smell, we taste, touch, and we hear. And we have been programmed, we have been conditioned to really live life from these. Because there is energy, there's a power, there's something that's flowing to us, right? That we are all aware of. We're here, we're alive, we're doing stuff. And if you slow down and you think about your life, you can say, wow, okay, how long have I been the one that's controlling what I do, what results I'm getting? Or am I just taking what life gives me? Or am I running? Which one is it? So, once we see here, this being energy, and everything is energy, is flowing to us. We're receiving this information. We touch stuff, we smell it, we taste it, whatever. And in our mind, images are being flashed. We're getting all this data, right? We're experiencing this thing called reality. And until we realize that we have this marvelous mind, this is what separates us from the cats, the dogs. This is why we can do stuff. We have a mind. This is God's gift to us, right? We can see how this flows, okay? So here we have this energy. This is the spirit. And from that spiritual plane, it reaches our mind until finally it becomes a physical manifestation. The law of polarity tells us everything must have its opposite. So the spiritual realm is the unseen. The physical realm is the seen. We can see this stuff. We can see this. And what people tend to do is they work from this plane and they try to go backwards. But it doesn't work like that. It's from high to low. It must come from the spiritual plane. And everything already exists here. That's the crazy thing. But it's not crazy. That's the thing. Everything exists here. and it's being given to us through this intellectual property, into this intellectual plane. And in our mind, we have these things called faculties, and this is how we perceive this stuff, or make reality of it. We have our imagination. Reason. These are called faculties. Will. Memory. Intuition. The last one, it will come to me. But we use these and we get our results. But what we need to take control of is our use of these. Because what a lot of people tend to do is use their memory to live their life. They're dragging the past. And when we look at this, we see this is a representation of our life. The sand that's down here, this is the past. We can't do anything about this. The sand that's up here, if we focus too much here, this is where the anxiety comes from, because we cannot control this. The only time we have, truthfully, is now. But when you are identifying from a place that no longer exists, it's hard to realize that you are in control of this because you're stuck. What we want to do is free ourselves from the bondage, the attachment to anything in life, because you truly can be whatever you want to be. When you set a goal, in the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we are enslaved by it. People that are going through life right now, if you're stuck working the 9 to 5 and you think you have a money problem, whatever problems you think you have to realize that trying to change this outside stuff is not going to work. You have to change what's going on here and and what you're bringing, from the spiritual plane. So what happens is an idea comes through here. We think about it. We get emotionally involved with it. Our body takes action and we get the results, and this feedback loop happens. So once we were born, we had a mind wide open. Our mind was like this. It was wide open. And all this information that was being programmed into our mind before we were consciously aware of this was already given to us, and that formed our subconscious. All right? This is the storehouse. The subconscious stores everything. So once it gets there, you're not consciously thinking about this stuff anymore. When we experienced driving for the first time, it was probably fearful. Maybe you had anxiety, you had doubt, you had worry, you had the left side because you didn't know how to do something. But now, because you habitually have done this, your mind automatically knows what to do. Your body automatically knows what to do. You can be texting, eating, listening to music, doing all kinds of stuff, and you're just driving. You may get somewhere and be like, dang, how did I get here? Right? That's because your subconscious mind, the same mind, and this is all your mind, this is one mind, but this function inside of it, that same mind is responsible for you breathing, you just walking, you doing everything that you don't think about doing. That's why thought is so powerful. Once we start to focus on what we actually can, which is our thinking, our life can look so much different because we can choose and not just take. So, once you have an idea in your conscious mind and it gets impressed into your emotional state, your body takes action on this and you get the results. And you can look at your results as health, happiness, and wealth. And we can break wealth down again into the 3 F's. Friends, fitness, and finance. You can say friends, family. Do you have meaningful relationships? Are you physically fit? And are you financially taken care of? Until we take an honest look at these, they're not going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. But once we get an understanding of these spiritual laws that's governing us, we can see exactly how we can work in harmony with this to create with the Creator. You are an extension of the source that created all of this. And you have a mind that's so powerful, you can tap into this and get anything that you want because everything is already here. But what you lack is that awareness of I can and how to. But you don't have to know how to. That's not your job. You just have to know what you want. You have to feel, and you have to get emotionally and vibrationally aligned with that you desire, because you know it's already here. But you have to start moving from that space. And this is how you do it. So this is how you manifest whatever you want